Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, hello, what is your name?
I'm Tavonna McGee. What's that?
Alright, what type of an activist are you?
I don't really label myself as an activist, but if we're gonna label, I'm gonna call myself a black activist. That's who I am.
What motivates you to be who you are today?
Black people. And I let me elaborate. Let me unpack that. I say black people because just who we are. I mean, if you really just go through our history, like we are amazing. Like the things we were able to accomplish, like literally this world does not exist without us. Period.
Where did you come from?
My mama. Talk about like my people, where my people's from.
Yeah.
So on my mom's side, it's a mixture of different nationalities. So I got like, first let me say, black people are Indian. The original Indians were black, were dark skinned. So of course I got Indian, got some Creole, and my dad's side we trace back all the way to Barbados, and if I'm correct, might be either South Africa or I'm guessing some part of West Africa. I don't know. That's what I've just been told. But I'm from Kansas City, Kansas though.
How do you define your environment?
Which environment? Like an everyday environment or like black people environment?
Yeah.
Black people environment. For the most part, yeah, I am normally around black people. That's my environment. And all from all different types of backgrounds. I can't say growing up I was always around a lot of people. So I know a lot of Africans, Caribbean people, even Latinos, and a lot of white people. We are in America, so my environment is a melting pot, but I choose for my environment be more black people, just because that's my focus area.
Cut. Stop that one. Alright. Am I clear?
Yep.
One second. Alright. Go ahead.
Where is the ghetto?
There's two places. One, the ghettos from World War II, when the Germans were taking the Jews and placing them in different areas before they took them off to the concentration camps. They had them in these small areas with buildings where you could spit in each other's, windows. That's how close they were. That's what my dad would say. It's an old country face. But yeah, the way the ghetto that we see that is in TV now, that was the original ghettos in World War II. They brought it over to the U.S. But then ghetto could be in my state. Could be.
Can you shift your left titty? It was covering up the word.
My bad.
Alright, you good.
Oh, this
right there. There you go. Alright, go ahead.
Alright. Who is ghetto?
Depends on what your environment looks like. I mean, if you I could say Jews, but then they might say something. But if we go on today's terms, a ghetto. I don't. Can we not use ghetto? Urban. Who's urban? Okay, so urban people tend to be more people of color or people below the poverty line. But I really feel like it's just another word the same as educated.
Is educated or uneducated?
Both. Miseducated and uneducated, if that's a thing.
So, what is the hood?
The hood, I think that's a term black people came up with. Like instead of saying neighborhood all the time, black people, we shorten, that's part of our ebonics, like our language. We shorten phrases up just so we can get our point across. Where you from? From the hood. Okay, what neighborhood are you from? That's my terminology for it.
So, what were you exposed to as in a negative aspect in the black culture?
When I was at the black schools when I was a kid, I think about first grade. Well, no, it starts before that. I'm the lightest in my family, both sides, on my mom's and my dad's. My mom's side, they would call me WG, and I was white girl. They called me that for the longest time, and I remember my parents would always tease me, and they would call me the lightest, or they would, go tell me to go bake in the sun, or they would, even my mom's family, they did that a lot too. But they would tease me. They'd be like, "Girl, you black," and I'd be like, "No, I'm white," because that's what I was told. I was a white girl, and they would laugh instead of correcting me, which I didn't like that. Now that I know better, I don't like that they did that. Another thing was I had black Barbie dolls. All of them got destroyed except for the white ones. When I got to school, they teased me for being white. When light, they would always ask, "Is my mom white? Or is my dad white?" Because I had long red hair. It was all natural, and because we're not taught properly how to take care of our bodies, which is an entirely different subject, they just assumed that I was mixed because I was light and had long hair, and that being lighter skin with long hair associates with white. So it's automatically thought I was white. So I was like, no, that's not me. Both of my parents are darker than me. My great grandma, the day I was born, she said, "That's the mailman's baby," because I came out so white. Yeah. So I've had my fair share of negativity in the black community, but that still didn't stop me. Somebody was lying. I knew we were great at what they were telling me.
You ready? What are your short-term goals
For the black community?
Yes.
Okay. My short-term goal to the black community. One is cleaning up the environment. So just going in the hood and just doing simple stuff like cutting people's lawns, or just picking up the litter off the trash, cleaning up the sidewalks, just because property taxes fund the schools. So if we, just do small things like fixing up our property, kids can have more money for their schools and they get a better education. And also introducing back agriculture into the hood, growing their own foods, just because they don't have real food in the hood. Those are my two short-term goals.
And what are your long-term goals?
Have a community garden, for sure, and have a holistic center.
My long-term goals are. My long-term goals are.
My long-term goals are to have a community garden and holistic center throughout all the hoods in America. Probably in the world too.
What holds colored men down?
Themselves, self-hate, and misguidance.
Calling them colored.
Well, no, color's a good thing. Color's a good thing. We'll say melanin men. What keeps melanin men down? Themselves. And then like a misguidance and self-hate. But they've been taught self-hate for over 400 years, so they don't even know that they hate themselves until they're told to love themselves. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. But it's more of a mental thing. And society thing too, because they got society against them.
Self-hate, where did that come from?
Self-hate was introduced through slavery. So I don't even know where to begin on that. It's such an extended history of that. But basically, when they started becoming born slaves in America, if you were black, it was just like, the lowest of the low. Dogs ate better than black people. Pigs ate better than black people. That actually where, side note, that's where, what's it called? Soul food comes from, by the way. Yeah, it's scraps. So, yeah, just that self-hate. And then, then they had the movie come out. it wasn't going with the wind. I'm not sure, but the president at the time, Woodrow Wilson, introduced it. It was a big thing at the time. But it's basically what the KKK uses as propaganda to fuel their hate towards us. But in that movie, I think, I don't remember all of it. I do remember one specific part when they had a black-faced white man. And he was supposed to be going around raping white women and stuff. That's where that criminalization of us comes from. It's from that movie right there. So,
Birth of a Nation?
Yeah, Birth of a Nation. That's what it was, yeah. So Birth of a Nation is like one of the most ignorant movies ever to exist. But from there, and then you got Booker T. Washington. Even though he did the trade schools, that was cool, which we actually still need to this day. His idea of getting equality was to be like white people. So that means that was to lighten our voice. And that's where the conks came from: straighten out your hair, to dress like them, to look like them, to be like them. And then maybe if they see we were trying hard to be like them, then they'll accept us. And to this day, we still have black people wearing blonde weaves, skin bleaching. You got the lightening of the voice. You got that's where the original coons came from. No, it wasn't Sambo. Then back to slavery. You got the dark end versus the light skin issue, which they would use a brown paper bag, and if you were darker than that, you were in the field. If you were lighter than that, you were in the house, and they would use that as division against each other. And so that was just another thing to play on dark skin. Like, well, you're not in the house, you're always outside, like you're dirty. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of self-hate that derived from slavery. I'm pretty sure that's not even the half of it.
So, if you had to tell a black man how to love himself, how would you do so?
Well, first, I'm real big on energy. So my first question would be, do you want to love yourself? And if I get a yes, then I would go into study your history. Look past slavery. Look what happened before slavery. That is who we are. Slavery interrupted our history. But even from slavery, we created so much more history from that alone. I mean, you got, during slavery, we had a lot of inventions that were stolen from us because we were seen as property, so we couldn't get the right things. But even after that, one thing, there's so many inventions that we had, like, for example, tools. A black man, while in jail, created the wrench. It's black people. We created the AC system, cooling and heating. We got the stoplights that we still use, the lights, combs, brushes. What else did we invent? It's basically cell phones.
Pick.
Yeah, that's part of combs and brushes. The pick, even the cotton thing that Eli Whitney supposedly came up with. That was a slave that invented that. There's so much more that we did. We can go all the way back to Egypt, the Olympics, deodorant, wigs. This is a big shade. Baths. We created so much that the moderate. I'm saying it wrong. What the modern world has today, we were the stepping stool towards that. And so if you would just go back to your history and look at everything that we accomplished, everything we went through. I mean, we could sit right here and laugh about slavery, y'all. Like, laugh about it. Like, that's one of the most atrocious thing in human history. But we can go back to our history and laugh at it. Like, man, that actually happened. Like, man, that really happened. Like, and just how strong-willed we are. We can even go to genetically. Like, genetically we're superior. That's not to be racist, but literally, like, literally African genes are the strongest genes, period. Like, there's no debate. Now you got that, and then you got psychology, all the bases. We had a big library before it got burned down, Timbuktu, in Africa.
Alexandria.
Yeah, Alexandria, he burned it down. All that knowledge, Plato and what's his name, Aristotle, all their knowledge was from Africa.
The Library of Alexandria.
Say that again.
The Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
Put that in there.
The Library of Alexandria. All that shit. All that stuff. My bad. But everything that the world knows today is from us. Even medicine. Medicine comes from us.
Cut. Quit looking at me.
Not
you. All right.
Yeah. Describe the black man.
The black man is magical. He's majestic. He's powerful, mysterious. He's strong. He's vulnerable. He's loyal. He's lovely. He's handsome. He's everything you need. He's the alpha. Alpha male.
Right. What were we before slavery?
We were one. We were united. We were a people that knew who we were.
What was our religion?
There wasn't one. We didn't need one.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure our religion, Africa's too big of a continent to say what religion were we. You feel me? Like, a lot of it was more of just praying to your ancestors. And more of because, you know, I think that was just the way of life. Well, black people in general, we're the most spiritual people, period. Like, we're like top notch. And I say that because one of the most spiritual people is black women. So if you can control a black woman's religion, you can control the entire community. She's the strongest. But back to what we were saying, there's many different religions. Like I was saying earlier, they have Hebrew in Africa, but it really there's Islam in Africa. It's too big of a continent to put one religion as the face of Africa. So really, in all actuality, we were just spiritual, and we were connected with the earth.
What does exotic mean to the black man?
I guess is more of exotic is more of what's uncommon. So are we talking more of like features? I don't know. I feel like we naturally have exotic features. So like, I can't tell you because I'm not a black man, so I wouldn't know what he looks for. I can tell you what he's programmed to look for is a foreign woman. I say foreign because the black woman's the original woman. So he's more programmed to go for someone that's not black.
Why?
Why? Because we're the strongest. That's why. If I want to take you out, I don't want you to reproduce. Not with the strongest.
So, what did crack cocaine, more specifically, do to our community?
Destroyed us even more.
What destroyed us even more?
Yeah, crack cocaine destroyed us even more. Big shout out to Nixon and Reagan for that. You ever want to be trap lords? Y'all go after them. They did it the right way. But yeah, so so we already know cocaine it's a drug. It's a big time addictive drug. It plays with your mind, and our minds being as unique as they are, you alter it. You can get some bad stuff from it.
How do you feel that the Clinton administration played into that?
Ooh, Clinton and his 3 strikes?
Yeah.
Ooh. I get upset when black people be like, he was the first black president. How? There's no way possible. Yeah, his 3 strike rules. Well, I don't know the exact word for it, but basically 3 strikes you out. And they already had heavy penalties if you were caught with even like a speck of crack cocaine from Reagan's era. So Clinton just basically continued it and put so many people in jail.
Open it. Yep. Hello. Well, no. And it's not like we need it. This is the main. This is just the.
Okay. We gonna edit the hell out of this bitch.
Go ahead.
We gonna make 5 minutes for the class and show them whatever we look on term goals and.
We're gonna do a bloopers.
Huh? What you mean?
Yeah, we will.
What you mean?
The bloopers.
Oh.
Alright.
Alrighty, you ready? Is this filming over here? Oh, it's filming already?
Yep.
Rolling.
Okay.
Alrighty, food stamps. Touch on Clinton.
Okay, so Reagan. So during the Reagan's era, you had the food stamp era and you had the crack area. Let me break this down. So one, everything goes back to slavery. So the first time the black family was divided was during slavery. They sold off the children. They killed the dad or made an example out of him with buck breaking and raped the mom. So it was a lot of dysfunction, and that's actually where we get auntie and uncle from. That's what we call black people auntie and uncle that we don't know. It's because they were required to, because if the parents had been sold and the kids were left behind, everybody was your auntie and uncle. That was just a thing that continued on. But that was the first time they broke up the black family. The black family got back together after slavery. That's why we have family reunions. Everyone found each other once a year. We say, what's up, y'all good? We go back to our normal lives. So once the black family had reconstructed itself and was solid again, the government then again had to re-break that up. And so what they did was they used 2 things. They took the black man out the house. That was the main thing, because like I said earlier, he's the alpha male. So they can't have the strong person, the strongest of the strongest in the household together. So they took him out, and to keep him out, they put drugs in him and let him use the drugs to sell. So when the cops were able to, they basically, crack just gave justification for cops to arrest and belittle black people even further. That's how I see it. So once the crack epidemic came, everyone was going crazy. Now we're wildebeests. Well, not wildebeests, but we're maniacs and crackheads and all these other stereotypes that are now developed. So now it gives the government even more control to do like things like martial law, because people are out of control.
What is martial law?
Martial law, basically the military's in charge. You don't want that to happen because you get a curfew, and if you are out past curfew, you will get shot. You will be killed. Martial law is no joke. So you have, after they take the black man out, to replace him, they give the black woman food stamps. And that's where that independent woman comes from. Yeah, it's a lot that happened through Ronald Reagan that destroyed the black community. So in order to have food stamps, one, you have to be it has to be a single parent household, I believe. You have to have a certain income, and no man can live in the house. And so, and you already know, black people, we already have economically a hard time spending wise. So, and getting jobs back then, the discrimination was off the charts. It still is today, but even more so then. So that was another way just to control the economics, and to keep the black man and the black woman and the black family separated. So they gave us the drugs and they gave us the food stamps. And it was a lot of mess. I'm probably sure I'm not touching up on it like I'm supposed to. Like it was a big web of lies that no one saw coming.
So what is black on black crime?
I'm glad you asked. Black on black crime does not exist. However, the opportunity to commit crime does. Because we can go black on black crime, we can go white on white, orange on orange, yellow on yellow, green on green, lime green, lime green. Like, color cannot commit crime to another color unless you're in fashion. But the question we should be asking instead of what is black on black crime is, why is there so much opportunity to create crime in the urban area? That's the question. Here's the answer. Economics. See, when people cannot, especially black men, when they cannot provide for their family. A man was born, in my eyes, to provide. He's a natural provider. That's his way of caring and loving and giving, is let me do this for you. And so when he creates himself, his family, his bloodline, well, they're mine, I need to take care of them. And when he's not given the opportunity to care for them, he gets frustrated. And because they were told to hold in your emotions because you're a man, deal with it, you're not allowed to cry, that anger then builds up inside of him until one day it bursts open. And it bursts open on the next person right next to you. It's not about, I was born bad. You were not born bad, you were born oppressed. And that oppression is 400 years old. We have a 400-year-old scar that we're not dealing with, and that no one wants to deal with because they don't know what's there.
Define oppression.
Oppression is, to me, in my words, is being held back systematically. So we can use like the ghetto, for example. That is oppression. So when you're able to control my natural resources, my way of life, the way I think, what I eat, how I feel, what I watch, what I read, my everyday communication skills, when you're able to fully control me, like, I feel like that's past like controlling, but I don't know how to say this. Like when you're able to control an entire race, that's oppression. And then when you're able to keep them down for centuries to come, that's oppression.
What school did you go to?
Well, I started out at Head Start. That's the government program. Yeah.
I just realized something. That microphone is going into the main fucking video, so we don't even need to clap to put shit in sync because we're gonna be using the same. Disregard this. Go ahead.
We're gonna redo that. Okay.
I just realized that I'm still over here clapping like we got
like you want me to go to like my whole like history of schooling?
No.
Okay.
I just want to know if you're
like or college.
Elementary, and then you can say what college you go to.
Okay.
So what school was you previously in, and what college do you go to?
I was started out at Junction Elementary. That's when I met the first white people.
Really?
Yeah. My elementary was the first time I was around white kids. And then, man, they tried everything in their power to touch my hair. I was not having it. It was like the Matrix. Oh, yeah. So, and that alone, a little backstory on that. So, at that elementary, they had this book system. It was like book 1 through, we'll just say 100 or whatever. Book 1 was for preschool. When we enrolled, I was in 2nd grade. My brother was in 3rd, and my sister was in 1st. They all started us on book 1. And we're so shocked when I was at book 16 at the end of the week. And they told my mom, they were like, your kids are so smart. And my mom looked at them and was like, okay, so what else are they supposed to be? Yes, I went through a lot. I was a token black kid for the longest time. And that's really what started my activism, is because I always had to be that bridge between black and white. I was cool with the white kids, but I was also the advocate for black kids. I was the only black kid in my AP classes, and so I always had to answer the questions when they were directed at us or about us. And I got tired of it. It was actually pretty tiring. Being a token blackie is overrated. Like, I don't even know how I did it for that long. And then we moved out of district, so I ended up going to a black school. I graduated from Washington High School off Leavenworth Road in Wyandotte County. Best experience ever. Less resources, but I loved every minute of it. Every minute of it. And then my freshman year of college, I went to Howard University. Shout out to all the HBCUs. Then my sophomore year, I went to Northwest Missouri State in Maryville. Worst mistake of my life.
Stop.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna start back on when you went to the HBCU.
Okay.
I'll explain them.
Oh, you trying to make it lower and then have it looking up at her?
Very good.
Yeah.
So
I know exactly what you was doing.
I wanted it to be like the above because
Yeah.
disregard. Okay.
Never can.
If they look up to you.
Did you sign this tripod out? Cause I might steal this. I wasn't gonna tell you. He said, "Is this in your name?" All right. I like that. All right.
So go with my freshman year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see? Are we clear on that side?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. So my freshman year, I went to Howard University. Shout out to all the HBCUs. And then my sophomore year, I went to Northwest Missouri State University in Maryville. Worst mistake ever. Only because I went from one of the most prominent HBCUs in the world to this small little PWI. I do not recommend that at all. But in that was another chapter in my life where I realized I was going to be an activist. It's because I was at school. I was 3 hours away from when Mike Brown was shot and killed. And I was actually going to school to be a police officer. And that hurt. I was 3 hours away from that. And that changed my whole course. Like, I wanted to be an FBI agent, actually. So after Mike Brown was killed, I was like, oh no. Not for me. Nope. What's the next thing? And I did not know the next thing for the longest time. It took until about 2 years ago. I realized what I wanted to do, but more specifically what I wanted to do now is be a community organizer. So I'll be enrolling at KCKCC, Kansas City, Kansas Community College. I finished up there. Probably in degree in communication, psychology. I don't know the specific degree for that, but it'll probably be in the area.
Be more Pacific.
Is that your major? What's your major?
I don't have a major right now. I'm not enrolled right now. But my major would be communications, though.
What does the black man portray in media?
He's portrayed now as the criminal.
Who was betrayed?
The black man is portrayed in the media as the criminal, the thug. More recently, the gay guy. Or he's the they're making the black man now, if you can't tell, more feminine. Like they're taking away his masculinity. There's nothing wrong with being masculine. It's something wrong with toxic masculinity, but to be your natural masculine self, there's nothing wrong with that. And so now they're trying to water it down. An example would be black men dressing up straight black men dressing up in dresses for laughter. Not to be to be transgender or anything, but to just to make people laugh, so they don't feel as scared as a black man when they see his presence. Put him in a dress, put him in something funny, so I can feel comfortable around him.
Expound more. Keep going. Keep going.
Example would be we can go with the show Empire. Empire does a lot of that. And it was one of the characters. What was his name? Oh yeah,
Jamal.
No, not Jamal. Not the main characters. I can't think of his name. Who's in Brown Sugar? Oh, I'm looking at his face. What was his name? He liked Cookie for a minute. He was in Brown Sugar and Best Man. The Best Man Wedding. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Tay Diggs. Yeah. So Tay Diggs was recently, well not recently, but a minute ago, he was in that show Lip Sync Battle. And he could have did anything, but he came out wearing a dress. He was wearing like, I think he was wearing a dress or something like that. But and he did a very feminine song, which I feel like you just could have just sang it, you know. But it's small things like that that make take away from black men's masculinity. It's pure masculinity. And then you got LeBron James dressing up on Saturday Night Live in a dress. Now, he's a perfect example because what they fear the most is a big black man. LeBron James is a big black man, but you put him in a dress and you don't have that fear of him anymore. Not saying you have to fear the black man, but the fact that you have to alter him just to feel comfortable around him when he's in his natural state. It's small things like that that the media does that I see.
I think it's big in stature as well as big in his image overall. Like, he's the best basketball player and he's not in the tabloids. He doesn't have any,
right,
you know.
He's drama free. He's non-problematic.
Light skin and dark skin, let's go to that real quick.
Okay.
How do we look at light skinned men? What is their image alone portray?
Well, back to the light skin versus dark skin. Light skinned men are seen as the soft side of black men, just because we can go with because white men are supposed to be weak. We know when it comes to a physical fight. Oh, you automatically think a black man can beat up a white man. So since this light skinned black man doesn't have as much pigment as me, he must be weak. That's basically where it comes from.
Are black men still in bondage?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Black men never left bondage. Physically, he doesn't wear chains unless he's incarcerated, but mentally, he's enslaved to this day.
What makes them enslaved?
Self-hate. He doesn't know his history. He doesn't know his true self. So he has his false image that's been programmed inside of him. And then on top of that, like I said, it's really all just dealing with knowing your history. What happened?
So to clear it up, as we will be ending it, you know, what would be your message to the black man?
Stop. No, we're going to put more power on that. Is that the one you wanted with your voice in?
I guess we can.
Yeah, we need your voice in that one. We need to, I'm going to need you to keep your arm like that. And also, how many more questions you have?
I already asked you how will the I didn't ask you how will the colored man rise yet.
You can ask me after that one.
Yeah, I'll ask you after that one.
Because they both.
You just used that.
We ain't got one in actions. I don't even know the slate. Okay.
Which one's on I finish?
How will the black man rise? No. What will you say to black men?
Oh, we good. Yeah.
What message would we give to the colored men?
I would give melanated men, or black men specifically, the message I would give them would be to learn how to love yourself, because it starts with you. I've been saying this a lot lately, like, black men, you can't have the same excuses like everybody else. It's just because you are the alpha male. You are the natural leader of our community specifically, so what everyone else does, you can't do. You're a leader. I need you to walk in your path. I need you to learn your path. I need you to learn your history. I need you to love and be you so that I can love and be me properly, so that I can teach the children how to be and love themselves properly. Everything starts with you.
How will the black man rise?
Self-love. That's it. I mean, self-love is key to everything, honestly. Because how can you love someone if you don't even love yourself? You feel me? So just to say, to wake up, I love me. And since I love me, you know what? I'm going to love you too. You know, it's that simple. But it's hard work, especially to unprogram, you know, 400 years of self-hate. It's a lot of work. And because every day you're going to be reminded that you're hated by the world. But it's a tough journey, but well worth it. Well worth it. So the self-love, please, I cannot stress this out enough. Learn your history, man. Learn it. It's so much beauty in it. It's so much beauty in it, man.
Who is the colored man enemy?
The black man's enemy. Well, I'll say your biggest enemy, period, is yourself. Because you hold yourself back the most. Just because you're scared. Fear. And yeah, the white man. The white man is his biggest enemy. And that's not to be racist. Because that's the actual economic system. That's a different subject. But because if you just go through history, American history alone, actually world history, period. Like, Europeans, they did a lot of damage. A lot of damage. That specifically messed up with the black man. So, himself, actually, we'll scratch that. Anybody that's against the black man, that's his enemy. Period. I'll say that.
How could we create change, like a physical change? What can we physically do to start change?
Honestly, just come together. Just have a meeting. I would say have a therapy session, if that's what you want to call it. But we'll call it a kickback. We have a kickback, but instead of kicking back, we gonna deal with our problems. Like, hey, I have this problem. I have this situation. Just open it up. Like, y'all, have you ever felt like this before? And I'm pretty sure, I'm guaranteed you'll find a person in that room like, you know what? I have felt like that before. And then the next step will be like, okay, so what are you doing about it? I don't know. Okay, well, let's find a way. Let's find something. I'm pretty sure there's someone else in the room. They'll be like, you know, I heard of that before. I saw this on the TV. I read this in the book before. And just create an open dialogue to where we could just discuss how we feel. But also to give an open environment to express our feelings. So it had to be a judge-free zone. Because you know black people. We're going to be looking at your side eye like, you what? We don't need that there. It has to be an open, free-spirited range to where I can fully express myself, or the black man can fully express himself without fear, without holding back, and just to put it all on the table. Just put it all on the table, and to realize that we all have a common ground. And once we realize we have that common ground, then we move forward. Or that happened to you, but this happened to me too. Okay, let's do something about it. And then boom, that becomes step one.
How would you develop that organization?
I don't think it needs an organization. Honestly, I just feel like, hey, meet here. Well, if you're not showing up, I'll get somebody else to show up. It's more of an energy move, more of, listen, you trying to fix the black community or not? Yes or no? I'm not judging you. I need to save my energy. I need to preserve it for something greater. So yes or no? You here with it or not? You down for it or what? You know? And if your answer is yes, all right, well, come meet at this spot because we about to do this and that. You know, we're trying to get something moving. But if it's no, thank you for your time. Don't try to convert them because they already gave you the answer. But the one thing about black people, we are trendsetters. So once the trend sends, the people that said no, they'll be back.
Earlier today, I spoke to a black man by the name of Joseph,
Mhm.
and he said, black men don't have anyone to look up to. We look up to dope dudes and thugs. White boys look up to lawyers and doctors. So, do we need more leaders?
Yes. But not more leaders. You need to turn off the TV and just become the leader that you're looking for. Honestly, why don't you just look in the mirror instead of searching for what you're looking for? Won't you be that person you're looking for? It starts with you. Everything starts at home. Be the change you want to see. That's it.
Sorry.
You gotta say that again, because we probably got all kind of noise.
Be the change you want to see, man. Like that's honestly it. If you see, it was that movie, Robots. It was an animated movie, but it was a very good movie. But one of the sayings was, "See a need, feel a need." Honestly, if you see a fire, you gonna walk past it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna walk past it like if it's a small fire. I'm not saying like California wildfire, but like if you see a piece of trash on the floor, you gonna call somebody and tell them there's trash on the floor and keep complaining about it, or you just gonna pick it up and do something with it? You know, it's that simple.
Somebody, when I was younger, we went to a family reunion, and my family's like from the country. Nah, this one, on my father's side, it was. So I'm being all city or whatever. We was having a picnic, and it was a piece of hair or something on the plate, and I was like, "Hey, Aunt," whoever I was talking to, "There's a piece of hair on this plate." She was like, "So take it off and go get you something to eat." And that just changed my whole, like, enough for me to even remember this conversation. I was like, damn.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's like, so you gonna fix it? Like, but she wasn't saying it as in a down way or trying to be funny. She was like, so take the hair off and go fix it. And I was like, I didn't even like think of that. So it like that whole programming and where you from, this, like you said, is real. Like, it's like, it won't kill me at all. But yeah, if this shit works.
Sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith.
It all starts with you.
It really does. I did a lot to change myself. A lot. I haven't straightened my hair for, I say almost 10 years.
Can we touch on here real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so dreads.
Locks. Not dreads. Locks.
What's wrong with the word
Ain't
dreads?
nothing dreadful about these locks.
Say that again.
Ain't nothing dreadful about these locks. Matter of fact, if we go through the history of it, back in, I want to say Ethiopia, somewhere in West Africa, Italy was invading again, and so the natives there, what they did guerrilla warfare, and one of the ways that they were protesting was locking their hair. Until we meet our demands, we're gonna lock our hair. And so they started locking their hair. Now this hairstyle has been pretty old, but this is where dreadlocks come from. So they locked their hair, and then they started doing guerrilla warfare. If you don't know what guerrilla warfare is, it's surprise attacks, basically, especially when you know the land. So you pop up out of tall grass, pop up out of trees, stuff like that, and start shooting like Rambo style. Like that's guerrilla warfare, basically. So that's when colonizers came up with the term dreadlocks, because they were dreadful of the guerrilla warfare, and they had locks.
Can we get a little shake?
Dreadlocks. But dreadlocks, not dreadlocks, locks, lovely locks. There we go, lovely locks. Lovely locks are used to connect with your ancestors. It's a certain element in our hair that we have. I cannot think of it. I think it's copper or whatever. But anyways.
What is it called? What do you think it's called?
A copper. It has something to do with copper in our hair. But it's the way our hair grows. But basically, what I've been studying on is when you grow your locks, it's like your antennas to your ancestors. Basically.
So what is the word nappy come from? What is nappy?
I don't know where nappy originated from, but I feel like it's a stereotype. Like I feel like hair in America, well, actually worldwide now is set to European standards. So if your hair isn't manageable in their eyes, because they don't take time to understand other people's culture unless it benefits them, then it's nappy, or it's unruly, or it's not professional because it's not theirs and they don't take the time to understand it. I think that's where nappy comes from. Because there's a law banning that you're allowed to discriminate against locks during the interviewing, during the hiring process. Yeah. Totally unconstitutional, but it's a law. And it's funny because our hair is the only hair that can defy gravity. It's funny because it's actually just deals with the oils in our hair. See, and Europeans, their hair grows straight down because the oil in their hair just goes straight down. We have curly hair, so the oil in our hair, it goes around in the hair, and that's why our hair grows up and out and not straight down.
So, how do you take care of your hair?
Like a plant. Our hair is like a plant. You water it, feed it, love it, and it'll grow.
What does heat do to our hair?
Damage it. Our hair can deal with heat, but our hair was not designed for heat. Our hair was meant to defy gravity. Our hair is a statement. It's our crowns.
Say that again.
Our hair is a statement. It's our crown.
I wanted to add something else about hair. So with our hair being out of all the races, every other race, why do you think ours is the only one that
Because we're the original human. Shade. Nah, but for real though. We're the original human. And our hair is just the way it is. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I feel like that's.
And it's the most versatile hair in the world. I meant to put that in there too.
Say that again.
Our hair is the most versatile hair in the world. We can do anything with our hair. Anything. So love your naps.
Eve's gene. Touch on that.
The Eve gene. Eve gene is the reason why I'm light skinned. So basically, scientists found that only the black woman possessed the Eve gene, and the Eve gene is basically it deals with the color of your skin. Specifically, the Eve gene allows the black woman to create any color of skin of her children. So albino, which is the white of whites, only black women can create that. The darkest of the darkest, I don't even know, mahogany color skin, only black women can create that. Anytime for the most part, when you reproduce with a black person, the child normally comes out a lighter black. But specifically in my case, both my parents are darker than me. I'm the lightest in my entire family. But I'm not white.
I think I wanted to ask you. You got any questions, T?
Y'all doing good.
I'm trying to think because I had a good question for you. Because I feel like one of the things, I feel like when we learn to love our hair, for some reason, that's how you learn to love yourself. Like, seriously.
Yeah, because your hair is like I said, it's your crown. It's like your crown piece. It's like your makeup. Yeah, your hair is like your makeup without putting on extra anything. If hair is like your confidence booster. I might have a bad outfit, but my hair look good today. It's small things like that. And I really feel like it's more of how I really feel like hair is just pressure on society. European societies, to be exact. Like if your hair is a certain way, then you must act like this.
Man, I should have wrote that question down. I just thought about it. I just thought about it out of nowhere.
Let's get the rest of your questions from there then.
What are the needs for the colored man?
The needs of the black man to be the leader again, to take his dominant role again. We're missing his leadership. Honestly, that's the biggest thing we need right now. Is your leadership, especially as a black woman. Like Malcolm X said, and it still stands true. We are the most unprotected women in the world, and it was only if the black man will fight for us, everything all right. It'd be all right. We'd be cool. But he must first learn to love himself and learn his history and learn who he is in order to fight for anybody. So really, we just waiting on the black man to get himself together. But we getting tired of it. We're growing weak. We're growing weary.
Stop this real quick. I want to talk about something outside the camera.
Nope, I'm not. Nope.
All right, let's go.
All right. The effects of the absence of black men. Where do I even begin? We can start with the black woman. She then became this independent woman that didn't need no man. And that trickled down to the children. Because children watch everything you say, you do, how you feel, how you act, your reactions, everything. Children reflect that. And so when the black woman became independent and didn't feel like she needed the man anymore, she then got this new ego that was basically, like, F you, I don't need you, I can do this by myself, blah, 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 the back talking, the slandering, the name calling, the putting down, the everything negative you could think of, almost. The black woman then emerged into this new egotistic, independent woman that really crippled her. Because now she no longer can be, well, she can be, but she chooses not to be humble anymore. So when the good dude comes up to her, now he has to have this new form of standards that are sometimes unrealistic. And so that puts him in a position to where, like, well, man, I can't meet her needs. So now I have to pick something that I can go for. And that just so happens to be probably a non-black woman.
And these look creepy, dog.
Yeah, and that's what they look like. That's their ancestors.
I saw these before.
Their greatest accomplishments was putting 3 stones on top of each other in the Leaning Plaza. The Leaning Tower, the Pisa. We got not 1, 3 pyramids that they still can't figure out. We got monuments, and that's why they shot off the noses.
Say that again.
They shot the noses off the Egyptian gods.
Wow.
So no one could tell that they were black. Or were trying to. Talk about erosion. So only the nose eroded? Alright. You gotta be a pretty big nose to erode. Then they tried to say Nefertiti was light skinned. I wanted to punch the fuck out of them. So you telling me without sunscreen, y'all was surviving in Egypt? Alright. What is your why?
What is your why?
Why I do what I do? I love my people. That's it. I
Ask it, kind of think about it for a minute, and then answer like.
all right, do a little pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you kind of get closer. Okay.
So why do you do what you do?
I got love for my people. Just going back on what I said, like you tell me y'all brought over the 4 to 5 million of us, and you can only tell me about 2 to 3 every year for the rest of my life. You lying. And once I found out what they were lying about, man, I lied too. If I knew if I was that great and didn't want you to know. Like just our history alone, our energy, our spirits, our rhythm, our creativity, just being us excites me. Because I know who we are, and I know what we can do, and I want us to know that, like, y'all, we greater than what we're being portrayed. And I don't like being lied to, so I wouldn't want you to be lied to, you know. I just want black people to know that we great and how great we are.
Okay. I was trying to see if he was gonna say something.
No, I was just making. I was hoping y'all didn't